Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to Lost in Books, Film, and Floss, a channel where I talk about books, movies, and cross-stitch. So if any of that sounds good to you, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you're sure not to miss any of the videos that you want to see. And today, I'm talking about books, and more specifically, I'm going to be doing my June MBR, or Might Be Read. Now, I've been seeing a lot of people making this switch from TBR to MBR, which fills me with joy because I kind of did that about 4 years ago. TBR doesn't work for me. Just to say these are the books I'm going to read this month, I didn't stick to that. Doesn't work for me. I'm too much of a mood reader. I pick things up on a whim. I start like 10 books in like 3 days, just like kind of trying chapters and I just go wherever my mood takes me. So I've got some books on my Kindle, and then I've got a stack of physical books here that are all possibilities for the month of June. So let's get into it. A couple of things are sure things. I don't think I have them in the right order, because I was just downloading pictures so that I don't have to edit the images into the video. But so one of my first options is, and I just found out about this like today. Well, not entirely true. I saw the initial announcement video for this read along, and then I forgot about it. And then today I happened to see the video announcing the start of it. And the channel in Erudite Adventure is hosting a read along for Dawn of Wonder by Jonathan Renshaw. And I looked up on my Kindle, and I have the Kindle and I have the audio of this. So I think I might try and join along in this read along. I'll put the initial announcement video for the read along down in the description. It's going to be talked about on the Erudite Adventures Discord channel, or Discord server. So the link to that will be in the announcement video for the read along. And I don't know really much about this book. Obviously, I was interested in it because I bought it years ago on Kindle. I even paid the extra for the... at the time I bought it, it was probably like pay $2 extra and get the audio. So I did that. So what I think I'm going to do the audio on this. I've got it all set up on my Audible app, ready to go. So I think I'm going to do this one on audio. Next, this one I'm currently reading. So this is carrying over from May. This is Memories of Blood and Shadow by Aaron S. Jones. I heard about this book on, I believe the channel name is Kay's Hidden Shelf. And I will put a link to her review of this book in the description. And she raved about the book. And it's also in SPFBO 8 this year. And I'm doing this thing on an SPFBO Discord that I'm a part of, where they've set up, they're calling it SPFB So they've randomly chosen 30 books from the 300 that are involved in SPFBO, and they set up a Google spreadsheet, and people are reading books off of this list of 30 and leaving like their ratings and links to their review, kind of treating it like just a for fun judging of some of the SPFBO books. And so I have a column on the spreadsheet, and the first book I chose for it was Memories of Blood and Shadow. And I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm not super far into it. I think I'm on like chapter 5 or 6. So I'm not super far into it yet. But the first chapter, the prologue, grabbed me. And I've been kind of hooked in ever since. So that's Memories of Blood and Shadow. This is also one I'm currently reading. So this is carrying over from May to June. This is Monster of the Dark by K.T. Bell. This is book 1 in Mirrors in the Dark. Let me see if I can get the series name isn't there on Memories of Blood and Shadow. But this is book 1 of Mirrors in the Dark. This is a finalist for SPF SPSFC, the Self-Published Science Fiction Competition. This is one of the finalists for that. I'm about 25% of the way through this, and again, I'm really enjoying this one so far too. It's a little dark, but I like that. So deals with I can't even really describe it right now. I forget what they're called. My apologies. I'll do better when I wrap it up. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this one so far too. This is, out of the two, actually, this is the one I'm a little bit more pulled to when I go to read. Probably more because I'm in more of a sci-fi than a fantasy mood right now. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. In that same Discord group, that SPFBO. If I could talk today, that'd be great. They have a book club too, and they're starting to read some of this year's entries into that too. So this month's pick for the book club in there is On Lavender Tides by Travis M. Riddle. This is Jakua, book 1. And I don't really know anything about this. I saw it was the book. It was like $3.99 or something on Kindle, so I picked it up. And I might get to this so that I can join in that. We'll see. This is another SPSFC finalist that I really want to get to. Andrew at Andrew's Wizardly Reads recently was raving about this book. This is In the Orbit of Sirens by T.A. Bruno. I've read actually the first couple chapters of this already, and I'm in. I'm definitely invested. So probably once I finish Monster of the Dark, I'm going to put more focus in the Orbit of Sirens. And then we also have Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. Now, I read the first book. I can't remember what the first book title is, but the first book in the Farseer trilogy. I read that maybe it was pre-Booktube, so had to be 5.5, 6, maybe 7 years ago. And then a few years ago, I had started reading Royal Assassin, and then I probably got busy and didn't have time to read, and it just kind of fell to the wayside. But I really want to get to the Live Ship Trader series, so I want to finish Farseer trilogy. So I may pick this back up, and I surprisingly still remember a lot of. I mean, I was like 350 pages into it. I surprisingly remember a good deal of what I read. I went back a couple of chapters. So I'm just kind of going to go back a couple of chapters and start reading from where I last, like I flipped through and I kind of didn't remember like the last couple of chapters. So I kind of started flipping back to where I kind of remembered stuff, and I'm going to pick it up from there. So that is the Kindle books that kind of are in my pile of possibilities. My might be read right now. So in the physical book realm, which I have trouble giving myself time to read physical books. I read on my Kindle a lot, like before bed, like I'll crawl in bed and I'll just open up the Kindle and read for a little while until I fall asleep. But I try to read physical books when I'm just like out on the couch reading and stuff. But then like I have a few things I like to do, like stitch or watch movies or read. And some of those things can't happen together unless I'm listening to an audiobook. I can stitch while I'm listening to an audiobook, but I can't stitch and read a physical book. And so I tend to ignore the physical books, and I need to stop doing that. So I have a nice pile of physical books here that I want to get to. This one needs to move over here. So the first one, I actually read the prologue in the first chapter of this the other night. This is Son of the Storm by Suey, Davies, Okungboa. I apologize if I'm butchering that. This came out last year from Orbit. I know it's an African-inspired fantasy. And I actually haven't heard many people talk about this. I think I heard a couple of mixed reviews when it first came out, and then kind of nothing since then. But it's one I've been interested in, and I kind of liked the prologue in the first chapter. I was kind of drawn into it. So I may give this one a shot this month. The BookTube Prize announced, and I'll link the video if anybody's interested down below, announced the quarterfinal results and the groupings for the semifinals. And the category I'm interested in there is the translated fiction category. And out of the 12 semifinalists, I've actually already read 6 of them. Because like I said in my reintroduction video, I've been reading a lot of translated fiction. I was reading along with a lot of the groupings of the BookTube Prize in February and March. So I've read a good portion of the 48. I've read at least a quarter to a third of the 48 books that were in the octafinals. So now that we're down to 12, I've read half of them. So I kind of want to read the other 6 I haven't read. And so I have 2 of those here. One is The Anomaly, which I had in a recent book haul that I posted last week, I think. And this is one that I've heard Angela at Literature Science Alliance talking about recently. And I've heard other good things about this book too, and it's now made the semifinals of the translated fiction category of the BookTube Prize. So, this might happen this month. I've actually already started More Than I Love My Life by David Grossman. Translator on The Anomaly by Hervé Letellier is translated from the French by Adriana Hunter. This is More Than I Love My Life by David Grossman. I read just last night as I'm filming this. I read, let's see. I read about 14, 15 pages of it last night. And I'm kind of already digging it. So, so I'm going to continue on with this one for reading along with the semifinals of the translated fiction category. Sorry, this is a library book, so I'm getting glare. And this is going to be a kind of primary focus over the next week because it is due back at the library on June 11th. And I've had it out for a while. So I've already been through my 2 renewals on it. And I can't renew it again. But even if I could hang on to it and just pay the late fee because there's not a wait list on it. My library system has 15 copies of this book. 14 are available. I am the only one with this checked out in my entire library system right now. So, and I know that because I first checked my online account because I knew I had checked out some translated fiction books in late March, early April, last time I went to the library. I knew I had checked out some translated fiction books. So I checked my account to see if I already had it out. And I didn't see it in my account because they're using a different picture for it. In fact, I've never seen the cover that they're using for it in anything I've seen for this book. I've never seen that cover before, so I didn't recognize the cover when I was just looking through the pictures of the images of what I had checked out. And then I saw that, only one copy was checked out, and it was at the library I go to. It's not the library in my town. I'm kind of where I live. I'm kind of between 2 of the libraries in our library system, and one's a little bit closer to me and easier for me to get to than the one that's actually in the city I live in. So I don't really ever go out that way towards the one that's actually where in the town I live in. But my library card has to be from there, so when I have to renew, I have to go to that one to renew. But I check out books and have holds delivered to the other one because it's closer to me and easier for me to get to. The grocery store I go to is over there, and I go out that way a lot. So it was checked out at that library. Only that library's copy of it was missing, and it was due back on the day that all of my other books were due back. I'm like, wait a minute, do I have this checked out? So am I the one with this checked out at that library? So I looked at my online account again, and this time I read the names instead of just looking at the cover images, and there it was. And so I went up into the spare bedroom where my library books I have checked out are at right now. Sure enough, there it was. So I started reading it. So that one's most definitely going to happen probably within the next week. So whenever I start doing update videos, that one will be part of it. I have Dune here. Frank Herbert's Dune. Sure, everybody's pretty familiar with this book. I started reading it last year. I didn't get very far because as I've said many times, reading wasn't good for me for a couple of years. I wanted to read it before the movie came out so I could see the movie. So I want to get back to this. I'm going to take it slow. I know it's a big book. I'm going to take it slow. Maybe like a chapter or two every day or a couple of days. But I'm just this is going to kind of be a casual read because I do want to read it, but I don't feel a rush to get it finished either. So I want to read it, one, because I've always wanted to read it, and two, because it was the first winner of the Nebula Award, and the Nebula Award is one of the awards, and I'm still kind of finalizing this project idea I have of reading award winners, but the Nebula is one that is one of the ones I might be focusing on, and it was the first winner of that. So next is If You Leave Me by Crystal Hannah Kim. This has been out for a few years. When the Reading Women podcast was going, and they were doing awards, the Reading Women Award every year, this was a shortlisted book for the Reading Women Award maybe 3 years ago. Maybe 3 or maybe 4 years ago, I'm not sure. But Crystal Hannah Kim was just recently named one of the 5 under 35 for the National Book Foundation. Every year, members of the panel of the National Book Award, one person each names somebody to award the 5 under 35 award to. And I'm gonna do a separate video of this, but I kind of want to read each of the 5 under 35 this year. And I already owned Crystal Hannah Kim's book. And she's the only one listed whose book came out several years ago. The other 4 are all very recent release books. Crystal Hannah Kim's the only one, so I hope that means she's got something coming out soon. But the book that was named was this one, for giving her the honor. So I would like to get to that because, it's, like I said, it's the one of the 535 I already own. I've been hearing some about this book lately, especially from Angela at Literature Science Alliance, The Ruin of Kings. First book in, I I don't know if this says the name of the series. This does not say the name of the series on this copy. So I don't remember what the name of this series is. It is a 4 or 5 book series. I don't remember how many books. But I have read the prologue and the first chapter of this, and I like the writing style. The only thing that bothers me a little bit is all of the footnotes. But I'm sure once I get further in, I'll just get used to those, and those won't be a big deal anymore. But I'm intrigued by what little bit I've read of this just when I was trying stuff out. So this is an option this month. Speaking of Angela Literature Science Alliance again, I was watching her latest video, latest as I'm filming this, and she mentioned a read-along that's going to happen in her Discord group for C.J. Sherry's Foreigner. And this is a book that I've been meaning to get to since the 90s. I was in high school when this book came out. And then I kind of forgot about it through kind of my 20s and early 30s. I kind of forgot about it. And then in my late 30s, I finally picked up this copy of it. And now I'm 44 years old and I still haven't read this. So this might be a good opportunity to read it along with other people and be able to talk about it. So I might finally get to C.J. Sherry's Foreigner. This is like a 19 or 20 something book series made up of like trilogies. Like it's not like, I don't think it's like one continuous main plot over 20 books. There's specific like trilogies as you go. But yeah, it's just something I've always meant to get to. This is a project that I was going to do this year, and I still kind of would like to, but I don't think I'm going to get it done by the time I wanted to get it done. Camilla Shamsi, Salt and Saffron. This is her second book. I read her first book, City by the Sea, earlier this year. I have an Instagram post talking about it. So this is her second book. She has a new book coming out right before my birthday in September, and I've already pre-ordered it. I read her Home Fire several years ago, and I absolutely loved it. It's kind of what started me down the path of literary fiction to the degree that I've been on over the past few years. And I've been meaning to read her backlist since I read Home Fire, and I haven't done it. I keep buying the books, but I don't get around to reading them. So I read her first book, I read her debut, and this year I was going to read one a month in release date order, possibly rereading Home Fire. I'm not good at rereading. And then the new one comes out towards the end of September, like a couple of days before my birthday. So I still would like to start getting through Camilla Shamsi's backlist, and I actually have started this. And these chapters are pretty short. I may just like do a chapter a day of this, and that just may be how I do it. And then if I haven't read all of her backlist by the time the new one comes out, I may just read the new one anyway. It's not like it's a series or anything. Today, Max Gladstone made an announcement about a new trilogy in his Craft universe. And it's a series I've been meaning to get to for a long time. So the book one in the Craft sequence is 3 Parts Dead. It's an urban fantasy series. And I actually I'm going to read it on Kindle because I have the whole series on Kindle, but I have this copy that's autographed by Max Gladstone. I got it autographed at a con I was at, and that he was at as well. But it's a series I've always been meaning to get to. And now that he's got a new trilogy that's going to be coming out, that's going to kind of be the climax of his his craft world. I would like to finally get to it, and it's something I don't hear anybody talk about, like, ever. I don't know if I've seen these books pop up on BookTube, like, ever. So it's one I definitely would like to get to. Master of Jinn just won the Nebula Award. P. Gilly Clarke. I meant to read this last year, didn't get to it. I mean, I started it, but I started a lot of things last year and never finished them. So I'd like to finally get to that, and now it's a Nebula winner, and it's a finalist for the Hugo. And then finally, I have last year's Arthur C. Clarke Award winner. Arthur C. Clarke is one of the awards I kind of definitely want on my list. Arthur C. Clarke Award and the Philip K. Dick Award, I think, are kind of two of the speculative fiction awards, and SFF specific awards that I would like to focus on. The Hugo and Nebula just maybe passing interest, but last year I wanted to read the entire shortlist for the Arthur C. Clarke Award, and I bought all the books, and I didn't get to them. And this is the one that won. This is Laura Jean McKay, The Animals in That Country, and I did start it. And another book that I might try to get to this month was another Arthur C. Clarke shortlisted book last year, The Vanished Birds by Simon Jimenez. And again, this is one I've been hearing about on Angela's channel recently. So that's in my pile too. But this more specifically because it's the last year's winner, and either late June or early July, I think, the shortlist for the Arthur C. Clarke Award for this year should be announced. And I may try to make it a priority to read the shortlist for the Arthur C. Clarke Award this year. I missed the boat on the Philip K. Dick Award this year. By the time I looked it up, it had already happened. So, but that's it. That is my June MBR for the month of June. It's a lot of books. I obviously will not get to all of them, but that's my pile of possibilities that I'm kind of going to be working through. I may read like half of them. I may read like 2 of them and switch to other books entirely. We'll see when I wrap up. And do like weekly or bi-weekly check-ins, however I'm going to do that. So anyway, thank you to all my subscribers. If you want to support the channel, links are down below. Hit the subscribe button, the bell notification, the like button. Those all help support the channel. And I will see you all in the next video.